Where we at time-wise?
Time for a question.
Yeah, we are.
Unhelpful advice with with Bobby and Kalila. Hi guys, this is from Azar. How can I be part of an Asian circle of friends? I always see you guys at school in a big group, and you seem to be having so much fun.
This is a white guy?
Azar.
Possibly. Let's
Maybe.
assume he's white.
There's always you guys always have a lot of energy. I'm not Asian, but I occasionally see non-Asians in groups, so I have hope. It generally seems like it's an exclusive club. I sometimes hang out with whites, but it's only a couple of them, and they always want to watch movies, TV, and etc. and are generally pretty boring. What is the secret to making friends with Asians? Thanks. Bobby Lee?
If you ever watch Mitch Mulaney, he has a comic. He has a joke about that one white guy that's that hangs out with Asians.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like more Asian than them.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm hungry, guy. You know what I mean?
Likes
he has
anime.
he likes anime. Yeah. Don't be that guy. It's like we live in America. I don't hang out with Asians.
Mm-hmm.
My friends are.
You think he's fetishizing?
I think he is. Right?
If you want to hang out with a large group of Asians and you want to fit into that, that's a fetish. For me, it's like the only Asians I hang out with is you guys, David Cho, my brother. That's pretty much
And
it.
growing up, not really.
Didn't really have. I had a lot of white friends, Mexican friends, and a lot of my friends in stand-up are all white and black and Mexican. I don't really hang out with other. I mean, I'll see Ali Wong. We're friends. You know what I mean? She's cool, but I don't look at her and go, "Wow, there's an Asian girl."
Yeah.
Steve Burns, half Asian. I don't really see him as that.
I don't have a proper answer for this
Because
question.
you grew up with Asians.
Well, no, and also when I came from the Philippines for the first time, the Filipinos all rejected me. I was too fobby. I wasn't I was too Filipino. My accent was too thick, and I don't know. I probably didn't dress cool. I didn't shave my legs. There were a lot of social
shave your
things that I
legs.
didn't catch up to. No, because I didn't know that. I only ever shaved for swim meets because we had to, but I didn't know that boys liked shaved legs here. I didn't know a lot of things, and I probably dressed a little backwards because my parents we had already lost a lot of our money, and I dressed like a kid from the Philippines.
When I first talked to Kalila on the phone, she goes, "Sorry about my accent." She said that
right away.
It made me go, "Oh."
Yeah, I was very insecure for a while because I had hard consonants, and I was always called out for it. So when I was in a swim team, we would have to scream out our times to our coach. So let's say I do like a 50 butterfly, right? And I'd have to say like,
Kalila, what's your time?
yeah, 26.2, right? And I was so insecure.
How'd it come out?
26.2. And so I would go home and practice this out 20 Oregon or mountain because I would say mountain.
Oh my god.
No, Frigidaire. I would say refrigerator. Like I would practice my hard T's because it matters when you're 14 and 15 and people are like, where the fuck are you from? Well, you don't look Filipino. And the Filipinos would say, well, you're too Filipino. So you know who I hung out with?
Jessica.
No, Jessica, she was my only Korean friend, but she didn't even go to the same school. I only hung out with Mexicans.
LA.
Mexicans took me in, didn't give a fuck. I went to more quinceañeras than
It's so funny that you say that. Because in comedy, there was a time where you had to be either Mexican, black, or white in the 90s, and the Mexicans took me in. I did Latino Laugh Festival.
Factions,
yeah, I
okay.
did. It's like in prison when you're like Asian and you're like, I gotta join a clan. They go with the Mexicans to protect themselves.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me.
Mexicans.
Yeah, Mencia, Willie Barcena, Jeff Garcia, Gabriel, Felipe Esparza, all those guys I started with because they were the only ones that took me in. Because the white ones, I wasn't nerdy enough or cool enough. Like Dane was the thing then, and the black ones, no. So the Mexicans harbored me.
Dude, but also Mexicans just have a really, really deep sense of family, and a
They
lot of the
do.
Mexican kids that I hung out with, their families were immigrants, right? Or they were
Muchas
illegal
gracias.
here, so we kind of just bonded in that same sense, where it's like, oh, I was new to the country, their parents were illegal immigrants, and I just partied with them all the time. And for a while there, I swear to you,
La escuela.
Bobby Lee, your Spanish is very
Mexicans
good.
are my
Thank you so
people,
much.
man.
I love them. I love Mexicans so much,
Me
dude.
too.
I really do.
They're inclusive.
Yeah.
They're
really
full
cool.
they're full of party in their heart. Yeah, I love Mexicans.
I love Mexicans.
You know what I'm not a fan of? And I'm going to get a lot of shit for this.
Be careful.
Chinese.
No, I'm not a fan
Oh,
of.
Oops.
Super-
We know what Bobby doesn't like.
Well, we know that. A lot of Filipinos that live in California.
Whoa!
I would
baby,
never.
take
You will
that back.
never catch me dating a Filipino guy either.
That's insane.
There's something about this sense of righteousness that the Filipinos who were born here have that is a complete turnoff.
California ones.
Yeah, it's like they kind of all bond together because they have this Filipino clique, but they know nothing about the Philippines as a country. They know nothing about the history. They know nothing about the language, but they're very kind of
sorry.
like cliquish, and they're like, "Oh, but this is a flip crew. This is a Pinoy crew." I'm like, "No, you're not," because to them, I'm not Filipino looking enough, but I'm too Filipino acting, and they're the ones who go back to the Philippines and have this kind of air like, "Oh, but we're the Americanized Filipinos," and I hate that bullshit.
I'm going to just say this because you said Filipino, right? I just want to say, anyone, if you're going to come up to me and recognize me, don't go, "Hey, aren't you on YouTube?" Because what that does is it negates everyone's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's what a Filipino dude at a Mexican restaurant in Sacramento said that to me. "Hey, dude, aren't you on YouTube?" I go, "Yeah, you are too."
George Kimmel is as well.
George Kimmel.
Joe's
I
on
think
YouTube.
everyone's on YouTube, right?
If you say, "Hey, weren't you on Mad TV?" or even Comedy Central is vague, but
Say that.
yeah, don't say YouTube.
And that's the word.